just going to welcome Jim Rutula, Principal of Rutula Associates. I was told that Jim is the best grant writer in town ever. So I'm a writer. What's your secret?
It's not about writing. It's relationships.
It's relationships.
It's all relationships. I've been working in Atlantic City. My first job was in Atlantic City. I've been here for over 35 years. And the person that hired me was a guy named Chuck Worthington. Chuck was a teacher from Brigantine. His family marina was sold to Harris for millions of dollars. He became an instant millionaire. He loved politics. He was an assemblyman. He became the first county executive. He hired me, and he immediately would take me out to lunch, introduce me to all the power brokers in the area. Unions, senators, congressmen, whoever he could find. I don't know him. I never knew him. But he created relationships, and they're the same relationships that I have today. And they're folks that help us. And they've continued to help and make things happen here in Atlantic City and throughout the region.
So you never wanted to be a policymaker yourself or an investor yourself?
No, I'd rather see things happen.
You want to see things happen.
Yeah.
You want to be behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
Yep.
So tell us about some of the behind the scenes stuff you're working on.
Oh, well, there's a lot of things.
We want to break some news here. Come on.
Well, I mean, right now, a big issue in Atlantic City, the governor just announced 2 weeks ago that there's a Boardwalk Preservation Fund, that $100 million. A good share of that will go to Atlantic City. But Atlantic City has a $110 million need to redevelop the boardwalk. The city's already redeveloped about $60 million of the boardwalk at the north end.
And I understand you were real incremental.
We're involved in that.
Yes.
And now, tomorrow, we take bids for a $10 million portion of the boardwalk in front of Boardwalk Hall and in front of Caesars. And but from there, we have to create some magic. The governor's plan is going to help, but there has to be more. And we're kind of putting together that puzzle because it's not just for the boardwalk. Obviously, the boardwalk's iconic, oldest in the country. And certainly something that people that visit Atlantic City know of. But the real trick is turning that into economic development and improving the quality of life and improving everything in the community. And that's the trick. For example, tomorrow, I think, the Trump Plaza site, the bids are finalized tomorrow. That's great.
That's the empty lot right now.
That's Times Square, Atlantic City. Center of the city was always considered to be a wonderful development site. The link from the bay to the beach could be lots of things. Finally, Icon is selling it. And hopefully we're going to have a great developer who we can work with. And by leveraging things like making the boardwalk much cleaner, much safer, much more beautiful, more iconic, we'll create a development marriage there.
What do you think would work well there? Another casino?
Evan has a whole plan.
Another hotel?
Everybody has a plan.
Everyone has. Well, what do you think would work well?
It could be obviously a pedestrian linkage because it ties the walk and convention center to the boardwalk. You have the beautiful Boardwalk Hall next to it. And it could be residential, it can be mixed use, it can be restaurants and nightlife, open air areas, entertainment, just a number of things.
How many bids have come in so far?
We don't know.
How many do you think? Yes, estimate.
We don't really know. It's not us. It's a firm out of Philadelphia that's taking the.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's just one example. I mean, there are a lot of properties up and down the boardwalk. And what's interesting, we were talking about the fact that we have beach blocks that are empty.
Yeah.
That was by design. When casinos came to Atlantic City, the whole beachfront was zoned for high density development. I think everybody thought they were going to have a casino on their property. And a lot of people paid monopoly with that land and still do. They still hold on to it. Finally, they're starting to understand there's not going to be more casinos in Atlantic City. and the property is becoming more reasonable. And obviously, and we have opportunity zones, and it's creating real development in that area. It still hasn't been rezoned. You still can't build a single-family house or a duplex in the beach blocks, which is a shame. But nevertheless, it's happening anyhow. And just like Evan said, it's really happening with small developments, but that creates a momentum, and we're seeing more and more of that.
Okay, so here in Atlantic City, is most of this power broking happening within the city, or is it a region-wide level? Is it statewide? Is it federal? Tell us, what is this power broking?
Oh no, it's
you're talking
actually,
about?
Well, right now there's a great relationship between the governor and the city. And our legislators are very supportive, Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. Everybody understands that this is the time. In the next couple of years, a lot can happen in Atlantic City. You really can't stop the momentum. You have to really work with everyone and get things done. As you mentioned earlier, I mean, with the federal infrastructure money that's out there right now,
Yeah, you've gotten some of that, right?
There's a lot of money that can be leveraged. And all the stars have lined up, and that was never really the case here. For years, Atlantic City was doing very well, but most of the wealth that was created in Atlantic City was being sent outside the area. For example, the CRDA for years funded projects all over the state of New Jersey. Now it has to be
through money that was originated here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot's changed, and but the important thing is everyone's working together. And the other thing is you have to show results. I mean, it's not good enough to, win dollars. You have to see it through. And I think everyone's working together. I mean, we met this morning with the CRDA, the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, and the governor's office on a project. And everyone understands they have to work together. That's the only way things get done.
Is it make it or break it time for Atlantic City?
It's a very important time. It's one of those opportunities that you don't always have, because usually you don't have everyone working together the way they are right now. And the other thing is we have outstanding anchor institutions in the city. Stockton University, Atlantic Cape Community College, they've all adopted neighborhoods. And that's so important.
So an outsider can't come in, like an Illich family that's gotten involved with the Ocean Casino Resort. Can they come in and make a difference?
We have $2 billion outsiders that are working in Atlantic City right now, Orsted and Atlantic Shores.
Okay, yeah,
and
we haven't
partners.
Talked about the wind.
They are partners with the city and with everyone. They are investing millions and millions of dollars in the city. They are involved. They're involved in organizations in the city. They're committed, and they're going to be the next anchor institutions. So outsiders can come in. The other thing we didn't talk about are the developers and people like Evan, and there's many others that have gravitated to Atlantic City in the last 5 years, 6 years, and they believe, and they are really creating a momentum that it's hard to stop, and everyone understands. You need to work with them. That you need to cultivate that relationship and keep it going.
Excellent points. Thank you very much.